we are going to go live now. And I think we are live. Hello! Welcome to the second Nights of Automation Mastermind for April 2025. I'm Paul Sokol, your dude here, automation guy, and we're going to do this on the second and fourth Thursday of every single month at 4 o'clock Pacific. So today, we're going to go ahead and do something that's really cool. I actually posted a video about this earlier this week. I think it was earlier this week, where we're talking about live event networking. Now, friendly reminder that this is a mastermind, so I'm on a Google Meet. The link is in the comment. Feel free to join the meet, and we'll happily let you in and talk about whatever you want, because I'm sure it's always more exciting to smash brains on things that other people are working on. But I'm going to go to a live event in Reno on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and I need to make sure that every single contact that I meet that I want to follow up with gets right into my database as soon as humanly possible. If you saw any of me at PartnerCon a couple weeks ago, you might have actually seen me do this. So when people like hand you a business card or like, hey, how do we connect? You just bust out your phone, and then you're like, all right, go ahead and bust out my phone, stuck in my pocket. I'm sitting down. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and chat. And you go ahead and throw in all your info, right? So let me go ahead and show you what the front end of this looks like, because it's alarmingly simple. And there's actually a little bit of a, not really a, I guess it's a productivity hack, even though it's not really a hack. It's something that's built into the system. So I'm going to go and I'm going to leave full screen mode so you can see my Chrome windows here. And then here's a shortcut key that's cool for you, Control-Shift-B. That'll go ahead and hide your bookmarks or show them, right? And usually I hide them because nobody wants to see that. But check this bookmark out right here, Pecan 25 leads, okay? So this is bookmarked on my bookmarks bar, and I'm logged into Chrome as me, and I'm also logged into Chrome as me on my phone. What this means is that any bookmarks that I have here on my computer are also available on my phone. And so that's kind of the trick, is you want to go ahead and set this mechanism up. I'm going to show you exactly how I reset it for another event, and make sure this is bookmarked, so that way anytime you meet with somebody, you can just go ahead, whip out your phone, and go to this web form right here and grab their info. So I'm going to Control-Shift-B again, hide this now that this is here. And it's the contact information for this person that I just met. And so obviously PartnerCon is done. I'm going to go ahead and update this for the next event that I'm about to go to. And the key thing here is that I'm grabbing first name, last name, email, phone, the company, and the country that they're in. And then I've also got a couple of checkboxes down here based on how I want to follow up with somebody. So for example, when I was at the event, since most people already know me, I'm like, hey, I have this free mini course, How to Automate Like a Pro. Do you want that? And of course, if they wanted that, then I would go ahead and check this box and add them to here. If they were a legitimate, valid sales lead and not just someone I was adding into my network, I would go ahead and make sure that they are in my pipeline as an opportunity, and that's what this guy's here for. And then I also have my Falcon Pipeline Sales Letter, which is my new elite program that I'm working with Partiv Shah on to launch. And so I've got a sales letter that I'm testing out, and if somebody is qualified for that, I would go ahead and send this to them here too. In real life, I probably would never check all three boxes. Maybe I would. I don't know. You'll see the automation on the back end in a moment as to what's going on here. But the takeaway is that make sure whenever you go to any live event, you know, rather than just grab a bunch of business cards and stuff, in that exact moment, when you want to connect with somebody, bust out your phone, go to the bookmark on your browser, fill it out. And you'll notice that this form itself is small. It's mobile friendly, right? That's kind of the whole idea here. So let me go ahead and go back to my handsome little face for just a moment, and I'm going to get logged into my Keap on my other screen here. Feel free to leave comments if things aren't making sense or if you have questions. And this, what I'm about to show you, I've been using for almost 10 years. In fact, the timestamps are there to show that this is the case. And we're going to go through all of this live. So this is my live event networking campaign. All right. So let's pull this over to here. Okay, great. So here is my live event networking marketing campaign. Okay, so I'm going to be making this available as a campaign of the month. It should have been a campaign of the month a long time ago, and I simply have not been able to complete that project yet. So here's the idea. Here's this one form, and the main thing is that no matter what happens, we're always setting the lead source, and we're also introducing myself, okay? Because it's networking, right? This is the whole point is, hey, we're going to go ahead and meet people and connect with them, right? Because even if they're not a lead for my pipeline or I want to send this, I'm still going to add them to my mailing list and follow up with them, send them blog posts, all that kind of stuff. So that's that's kind of how this works. So let's go break this down one at a time, and then we're actually going to go through this little SOP here because this is all I have to do to reset this mechanism. Every time I go through and before I go to any kind of live event, which is only a couple of times a year, I rip through this checklist real quick, and then I'm ready to go. So the other thing too is, check this out. If we go and we look at restoring versions, I first deployed this in October of 2016. So that would have been PartnerCon 2016. That would have been the first event that I attended as a free agent, as a solo dude, because I left Keap in May of 2016, and so October 2016 would have been the next event to come hang out with. Check this out. What is this campaign doing? Let's start with the simple stuff. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and keep this open so you can see the front end again. So here's the simple stuff. If I click add to the pipeline, right, all this is going to do is go ahead and throw a qualified opportunity into my pipeline, and then I also have a separate campaign that registers that lead with Keap. I am a partner. If I do end up selling an account, I'll go ahead and get a little bit of a kickback, and so just why not? I make sure that if I'm adding anybody to the pipeline, I also register that lead with Keap automatically. So that's this first checkbox. For the next checkbox of adding them to Automate Like a Pro mini course right here, I already have an existing campaign to deliver this, right? And so one thing I want to point out is that we're not rebuilding duplicate structures all over the place, right? I have one master campaign that delivers how to automate like a pro. Cool. All I need to do is check this box and go start that other campaign, and that's really kind of it here. So this just adds them into the deliver login, the very start of the whole thing. So nice and simple. And then for the Falcon sales letter piece, this one has a little bit more fanciness behind it. And I guess this is just the customizations that I've made. And I probably should have ended with this, but this is something you want to do regardless. Any event you go to, always be collecting names, emails, and phone numbers of folks, and at least put them in your database, send them your newsletters, say hi, that kind of stuff. And then, based on how your business goes, you can use these extra additional checkboxes, right? And so for this last one, for the sales letter, it's a traditional weekly redeemer type timing where I'll send them the letter, and if they've not downloaded it, I'll send them a reminder, and if they still don't download it a week later, I'll go ahead and say, hey, don't forget to do it. Notice that this is coming 8 minutes after the form gets filled out, and then this comes in 8 a.m., and then this is 5 p.m., and they're all basically saying the same thing. All of these emails, hey, as promised, here's the program, which of course, people are only going to get this because, again, I'm in person. I'm physically talking to them. And so if they're interested in this, hey, let me go ahead and send you some information about this Falcon program here. So this is just a redeemer. The email is nothing other than go ahead and download the thing, right? Now, we got some merge fields in here. So that's really cool because that's all part of our reset structure over here, okay? So again, on this call, I'm going to go ahead and refresh this for the event that I'm about to go to. So these are all the extra fancy things here. At the very least, you want to make sure that you have something like this. Make sure that obviously you have the form. Make sure that you have a little nice to meet you introduction at the bare minimum that just like points people to your website. And then of course use lead sources, which lead sources are pretty cool. So let's go ahead and look at the, this is literally just setting a lead source. We'll see that as we go through it. And then the nice to meet you. So I fill out this form. It's sending out a nice to meet you email. Hey, so nice to meet you. Here's my website. 3 days later on any Friday in the afternoon, hey, friendly reminder, if you haven't already, go ahead and check out my website. Of course, I can point them to wherever I want. This might even be pointing them to my link tree. I honestly can't remember. And friendly reminder that, as always, you can hop into the Google Meet at any point in time and hang out, ask questions. So, and then of course you're setting the blog post notifications, right? So rather than using a tag, okay, I don't like using tags. I don't like using tags for newsletter subscriptions because you can't self-manage that. It's very funky. It's very easy to create a web form that has a custom field that gets pre-populated when somebody visits it, and then they can go ahead and choose whether or not they want to go ahead and be on your newsletter, and also have different preferences too, because when you're using a tag for a newsletter, it's a binary, you have the tag or you don't, right? Which, and it's 2025. So you should be able to give people some options here. So people can actually say, do I want every new post or do I just want a monthly roundup? And so at the bottom of all of my blog post notifications, people can go ahead and choose their preferences, edit that. So let's go ahead and keep raging with this. And these emails are, again, remarkably simple. Now, because it's networking and because you meet a lot of people when you're networking, I always make sure to put my face in here because I'm good with faces. I'm okay with names. Sometimes it takes a while to match a face with a name. So that's what I'm doing here. Here it is. It was nice to meet you at whatever. By the way, go check out my website. And then this is the reminder, hey, it was great to meet you. You're probably still getting caught up. Go check out our website. Because automation is all about relationships at scale. And isn't this what you would do in real life for somebody? You meet them at an event, you send them an email, hey, nice to meet you, go check my stuff out, and then if you haven't heard back from them or whatever in a week, just friendly reminder, hey, nice to meet you, go check my website out if you haven't already, okay? So that's the idea behind here. So what we're gonna do, now that I've done me flapping my gums plenty, we're gonna go through all of this. So right now I'm about 12 minutes into the stream here. This is exactly how long it takes to reset this for every single event. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close this. We're going to go through this. So to update this, either create or update the lead source. I do need to create a new one. So these are links that go directly into lead sourcing. So leveraging the ability to include HTML links in here. So we're going to add lead source. This is the lead source of TBT TBT Live, Reno, April 2025, April. Okay, anyone I met, or rather anyone Paul met at the big table event in Reno. So categories are actually useful when you're determining ROI. You can do category-based ROI. In this case, this is direct for me. As far as the vendor, we don't have this vendor in here. Actually, I'll add them in here because I'm going to be doing a lot more with them. So this is integrated wealth systems, so I can spell it right. The medium is a conference, and I'm not going to worry about message content. There you go. All right, so I save this bad boy here. Now I have this new lead source. I can actually track expenses here, which is something that I'll probably do. So what I spent on the plane and hotel and the food, I'll go ahead and track these expenses. And then as clients come in, I can go ahead and see what was the actual return on investment of that. So that's a totally different side to it. If you thought that was cool, let me know. Maybe we go ahead and talk about it on the next mastermind, because that's a very esoteric but really powerful function of Keap. It allows you to track expenses you made on some kind of a lead source and tie that back to the return on your investment for that, assuming you're tracking orders inside Keap. So anyway, here I created the new event, TBT Live Reno. So next step is to update the lead source sequence name. So this will be like TBT Reno, keep it simple. We're going to go ahead and update the lead source step in the sequence. So same thing, TBT Reno, and then actually update it as well. So This is TBT Reno. Great. And this is also not, it's just setting the field value. I'm not overwriting the field value. In case I happen to have already had somebody in my database, I don't want to overwrite them lead sources. So there you go. Update lead source step in the sequence. This is actually update lead source step and name. Forgot that. Okay, cool. Update the merge field. Let's do that. So actions, merge fields. This is this is publicly facing, obviously. So this is Laurel's big table event in Reno. Which actually that's kind of long because usually it's something like PartnerCon or social media summit or whatever. But this is a big. It's a private event, so it's Laurel's big table event in Reno. So that's the name of the event. And then we update the name of the web form. So again, I'll just do the same thing, TBT Reno, update the web form content. So that way I know there you go. Here's also another thing that's really cool. On the thank you page, because again, the idea is you have this bookmark, you bust out your phone when you're networking. On the thank you page, says you just emailed this person, click here to add another. This link points right back to the form again. So I can just, I can quickly whiz bang, hey, nice to meet you, Don Smith. Okay, cool. And then a couple minutes later, oh, hey, nice to meet you, Susan, whatever the case is. So that's that. And then the last step before publishing, actually two last steps. I need to update the pipeline opportunity because I do want to know where these people come from. So it's TBT lead. Okay. And I'm automatically assuming they're qualified because otherwise I wouldn't have put them in the pipeline in the first place. And then double check the nice to meet you follow-up timing and language. So let's double check this language here. Mostly to make sure that the merge field makes sense. So let's just make sure it's like natural. Oh, very simple. Hey, which was the absolute best subject line for President Obama's campaign. They did all sorts of stuff. And hey, ended up having the best open rate. So we'll go ahead and steal that, right? Stand on the shoulders of giants. Actually, if I preview this, oh, it hasn't. I haven't published the merge field yet, so it may not preview correctly. That's okay. If we... Okay, well then this, I think it said something, it was great to meet you in person at Laurel's big table event in Reno. That would still make sense. That would still go ahead and check out. Where's this even pointing people to? Is it pointing at your website, which is a campaign merge? Great. And then, oh, and then I'm also pre-framing that they're going to get new blog posts because remember, I'm adding them to my blog list by the fact that they made it here. So I'll save and exit this. Nothing else to touch here. And then let's also make sure the follow-up. So wait 3 days, run any on Friday. Yeah, that should be fine. And then let's do the same thing. So in case my previous email got buried. Okay. So, okay, it was great to meet you at blah, blah, blah. Okay. So this wouldn't make sense. Wait 3 days, send any Friday. This event is running Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So if I'm waiting 3 days and then sending in the afternoon, I think, I would actually say it was great meeting you this week. Add, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And there you go. That's the last step. And this is wait 3 days, run on any Friday at 3. Yeah, that should work, right? Because even if I do it on a Tuesday, it'll wait 3 days, then run on any Friday of the month. I'm pretty sure that that's how it's going to work. Okay. And then publish. There you go. That's it. So now, oh, actually, hold on. Delves in the details. Make sure I got my space there. All right, let's Oh, I want to double check. What was your website? This is pointing to the link tree. Okay, cool. And latest version of the Falcon sales letter. That also should work. Cool. And there you go. So and obviously it took a little longer because I was talking, but in 5 to 10 minutes or so, I've updated this form. So now when I go to it next, there you go. It's updated for Reno. So I know that it's updated for this next event. I can put people in here. The follow-up's going to be there. I know that they're going to go into Keap, and at the very least, they're going to get my blog posts. I'm pointing that on my website. They're being lead sourced correctly, so I can track ROI. They are going to be put in my pipeline if I want to talk to them. They are going to be added to my mini course if they wanted a mini course, and they're going to get my sales letter if they ask that. So, if you're not doing something like this, anytime you go to a live event, whether it's a networking event or a conference or even a trade show, if you have a booth at a trade show and you don't have some bare minimum something like this, you're leaving money on the table. That is a waste of resources because you got to pay to be a vendor, you got to pay to ship all your stuff out. You're buying banners, you're printing stuff. Like there's an investment there. If you're not collecting and following up with every single person that shows up to your booth that might be interested, you're wasting your time. And you would be shocked how many people I've spoken to that are like, "Oh, I'm going to be a vendor at an event," and they don't have this. You know, even large companies, they'll be at a booth and there's no lead capture. They're just like handing out, sheets of paper or whatnot, or like trying to like close people right there in the moment. You are definitely doing the bet if that's all that you do, folks. So anyway, that's what we did for today. Thanks so much for watching and hanging out. And remember, we do these on the second and the fourth Thursday of every single month. Nights of Automation Mastermind, and it's at 4 o'clock Pacific. Looking at the next one, that means for May it's going to be on Thursday, the 8th. Because technically the first Thursday is the 1st. So Thursday the 8th, and then May 22nd will be the 4th Friday. There's Thursday. There's 5 Thursdays in May. How cool. Well, anyway, that's it for now. If you're going to do anything, you might as well be pro. So thanks for hanging out, and we will talk to you in a couple of weeks. See you later.